Let me take you on a journey to Kashmir's Anantnag district. Many tourists, in fact, most tourists who go to Kashmir have already heard of the two famous Mughal gardens, Nishad Bagh and Shalimar Bagh. These are on the main road that opens on to the Dal Lake, and so it's hard to miss. But these aren't the only famous Mughal gardens in Kashmir. One gem is hidden in the Anantnag district, some 60 odd kilometers away from Srinagar, and it takes approximately 2 hours to reach the Achabal Gardens. This garden was created by Empress Noor Jahan, wife of Mughal Emperor Jahangir, in 1620 at the site of a spring which enters the garden as a waterfall. Villiers Stuart, the author of the 1913 publication Gardens of the Great Mughal, called Noor Jahan and Babur the great garden lovers of them all. Jahangir had left for Kashmir from Agra in October 1619. The royal cavalcade was accompanied by Noor Jahan, Queen Mother Mariam uz Zamani, and other royal women. Shah Jahan, Noor Jahan's father, Ghiyas Beg, and brother Asaf Khan, and their families, noble officers, stewards, attendants, servants, and soldiers, all of them on horseback or on elephants. They stayed there for a year and returned in 1621. That one year was enough for Noor Jahan to build this beautiful garden. Initially called Begumabad after her title of Badshah Begum, it was labeled Sahibabad when Jahanara Begum remodeled it between 1634 and 1640 and added a hammam. Jahanara's title was Begum Sahiba. In the 12th century, Kalhan writes in his Rajat Rangini that this is the ancient Achabal founded by King Aksha who reigned from 571 to 631 CE. Pandit Anand Kaul, who has written a book on the archaeological remains of Kashmir, writes, this place is also noted for its spring, which is the finest in Kashmir, and is supposed to be the reappearance of a portion of the river Bringi, whose water suddenly disappeared through a large fissure underneath a hill at the village Wani Devalgam in the Brang Pargana. It is said that in order to test this, a quantity of chaff was thrown in the Bringi river at a place its water disappears at the Vani Devalgam, and that chaff came out at Achbal spring. The water of the spring issues from several places near the foot of a low spur which is densely covered with deodar trees, and at one place it gushes out from an oblique fissure large enough to admit a man's body and forms a volume of some 18 inches high and about a foot in diameter. The speciality of this garden indeed is the spring, to which we will come later. We will start first at the lowest level, where one enters the garden in the northern side and then walks up to the highest level which houses the spring. Behind it is the high, dense mountain of the Sosanwar hill from which the spring emerges. It is a perennial spring and gushes forth vigorously the whole year round. The first pool is square-shaped with 9 fountains. The second level is accessed by steps and leads to the second pool, again square, with a 5 by 5 array of fountains. From here, one can see the chabutra or the platform. The third level and its walkways divide the pool into two squares with an array of 5 by 5 fountains. From the third level, the private or zanana portion starts, and two small wooden pavilions flank the large central pool. This water tank was used as a woman's bathing pool. At this point, water from the central water spring also feeds side channels running parallel to the axial water stream. The chadar that cascades here with the raw and its foam and spray, they just create such a beautiful effect. What you can see here are the base of some fountains. The hammam, complete with heated water, that was built by Jahanara, was accessed from the western wall, but it is in ruins today. This garden is modeled on the classic Chahar Bagh garden. The Chahar Bagh or paradisical gardens, modeled on the Quranic description of heaven as having four rivers of milk, honey, and water, is a very popular Mughal theme. It can be seen in the Taj Mahal as well as in Humayun's tomb in Delhi. The word paradise is derived from paradisa, which is the Persian word for a walled garden. The Charbagh plan is a quadrangular or rectangular garden intersected with flowing waterways, pools of water with fountains flowing into them, and fruit-laden trees. The garden is 467 feet long and 45 feet broad and surrounded by a stone wall and divided into three terraced portions with a central water stream, 16 feet wide along the north-south axis, and features three fountain basins, which we have already seen. These side streams are 6.5 feet wide and flank the central stream on either side. They don't have tanks or fountains. However, all three channels have two chadars between the three terraces of the gardens. A chadar or chute transfers water between different garden terrace levels and creates a wonderful effect. The surface of the chadar is engraved with wave-like patterns. Walkways for the visitors on either side lined with flowers. Earlier, as was the Mughal custom, it used to be full of fruit trees as well as many other trees. Today, the chinar stands tall, though their age is unknown. We come to the spring. The original building that would have been built to house the spring has broken down, and another one has been built, probably at the time when Gulab Singh did repairs. This spring is what is so special about this garden. Bernier, who visited this garden in the 17th century, praised the spring, saying it gushes out of the earth with violence, as if issued from the bottom of some well. And the water is so abundant that it ought rather to be called a river than a fountain. As mentioned before, there is a set of wooden pavilions, two in the center. One is in the main tank, which is double storied, and there are two on the sides, on the lower and upper terrace, which flank each side, obviously for resting and sitting and enjoying the garden by the Mughal ladies and the emperors and the princes. Of course, there would have been some kind of entertainment on the lower levels, especially on the chabutra, which could have been enjoyed from this upper level balcony. Today there are these wooden screens, but these would have been open covered with brocade curtains or carpets, especially Kashmiri carpets. It's a beautiful place to be enjoyed and to be savored at leisure. And a lot of locals come here to do exactly that.